first stop is Ringdon Farm, where they make apple juice. I've started experimenting with putting the apple pulp down for the wild boar at the high seas. It's really popular with local farmers that use it for feeding the animals during the winter, and we thought pigs love apples. We might put a couple of bags of this down when we go to feed the boar later, just for something different. We normally feed cereals, but this is kind of a bit of recycling, and it seems a natural synergy. You know, applesauce always goes well with pork, so we thought we'd give it a try. As I've mentioned before, the boar are having a hard time with no close season and too many guns, and we think that numbers are in freefall. Where we used to see groups of 30, we now see 3s and 4s, and if we didn't have to shoot them, we wouldn't. But we need to keep our landowners happy, and there's no doubt that a sounder of boar can cause real damage to paddocks and gardens. We endeavour to only take young males which have no chance of breeding. Other shooters are not always so selective, unfortunately. So we've come to the first of our feed sites, and as you can see, there's pretty much nothing left, which is a good sign. You know, we've been feeding quite heavily here. They haven't been feeding every single day, but I can smell there's been pigs here, and obviously they've been before it froze last night by the looks of things. So that's good news. We're gonna feed a couple of places here, and then we're going to head off to our other high seat, which is close by, and see if the pigs have been there too. Okay, so this is the apple pulp that we got from the juicing place earlier. It's the first year we fed this, but as you can see, you know, they'd pretty much cleared it. So it's a food source that they're prepared to tackle. At the moment we're feeding it separately to the cereals, just to see if there's any difference, if there's any preference. You know, if they turn up and only clear one particular food, then obviously we know what we should be concentrating on. So it's a bit of an experiment for us, but clearly at the moment the pigs seem to be enjoying it. With the food down, it's time to do some housekeeping. We need a safe passage up to the high seat and a clear line of fire to the food. Obviously, when you're coming up and down here with your rifle, the last thing you want is to be tripping over on a branch, so we always make sure we check them thoroughly before we start shooting. The weather is all over the place. Blue skies, then white out. With the light going, we arrive at the high seat and we know we're going to be cold, at least -5. I'll go to one high seat while Colin and David go to the other. The moon and the snow should give us a good view. A small fallow doe makes an appearance, but we want boar. I, on the other hand, have better fortune, and half an hour after last light, a young male boar comes to feed. I've been in the seat for probably less than an hour. Heard a group of pigs approaching. They took their time, they're pretty cautious tonight. Saw a couple of animals start to move into the clearing and then freeze. They look quite good sized animals. This is obviously a lot younger animal, and it couldn't be bothered to wait around and check whether there's any danger. It came straight out to the food pretty much. I thought it was a suitable cull animal. Obviously with the snow behind it, it was quite easy to see it, and I was able to ascertain that it was a young male. So yeah, took the shot, and that'll be some good eating, some meat for the landowner, and hopefully something for us. Back at base, I'm cracking on with the gralloch. It's a healthy young male, although definitely a porky porker. As you can see, it is an extremely fat pig. See the cover in here and inside the cavity. That's as fat as I've ever seen a young male, well, ever. Quite why it's that fat, I don't know. So oftentimes during the winter, you know, if the animals are in the rut, or if the conditions are hard, you think they'll be struggling for food. Whether or not there's that many shooters feeding them, that they've got just far more food than they normally would have, I don't know. But that is certainly a fat little pig.